Hello Year 6, it's Tuesday's lesson in our explanation text writing unit for this week. Today we're going to learn what the features of an explanation text are and how to write in this interesting and technical non-fiction style. Before we get stuck into the text part, let's look back at the Lost Thing film we introduced yesterday. As we watch, look closely at this wondrous beast. How would you describe it if you were explaining what it was in an information book?
So you want to hear a story? Well, I used to know a whole lot of pretty interesting ones. Some of them so funny you'd laugh yourself unconscious. Others so terrible you'd never want to repeat them. But now I can't remember any of those. So maybe I'll just tell you about the time I found that lost thing. This all happened many summers ago, down at the beach. I was, as usual, working tirelessly on my bottle top collection. At least until I saw the thing. It sure wasn't doing much. It just sat there, with a really weird look about it. You know, a sad, lost sort of look. Nobody else seemed to notice it was there. They were all too busy doing other stuff, I guess. Hello? Turned out to be really friendly, and I played with the thing for most of the afternoon. It was great fun, yet the whole time I couldn't help feeling that something wasn't quite right. As the hours slouched by, it seemed less and less likely that anyone was coming to take the thing home. Soon there was no denying the unhappy truth. It was lost. I asked a few people if they knew anything about it. I took the lost thing over to Pete's place. Pete has an opinion on just about everything. Cool, he said. Pete didn't know what the thing was exactly, but he said what he always does, that all physical manifestations could be identified empirically through careful observation, calibrated measurement and controlled experimentation.
Do you notice the book that Pete gets down from his shelf to try and identify the lost thing? We have an extract from that book, What Miscellaneous Abnormality Is That, here. Let's read it together. As we read it, think about the style, the layout, the structure, the vocabulary that's used to explain this creature's characteristics. If you have a copy of it at home, highlight and annotate anything you notice. What is specific to this type of writing? What makes this an explanation text? This stroke nectar diesel coal scanth can be easily identified by the colourful markings which outline the external shell and wings. Interestingly, this creature has a range of unusual external features. It has high-density metallic jaws which never close, turbo-injected diesel-powered flippers which enable it to travel at high speed, and enormous rotating eye sockets which give this amazing creature 360-degree vision. If you are lucky enough to have the opportunity to observe one of these lost things, you will notice how quiet it is, because it only communicates via text message. It uses a control panel, which is located on the left-hand side of the main body, to send and receive messages. From this panel, only the occasional bleep bleep noise can be heard. Notably, it is not only the visual aspects of this creature which make it fascinating, its temperament is interesting too. Although the coal scanth may seem friendly and placid, treat this lost thing with extreme caution, as, if startled, it can become very dangerous and aggressive. It has been known to react to a surprise or shock as wildly as an angry lion, therefore be careful at all times. It would always be advisable to approach this creature from the side, so it can clearly see you, to prevent alarming it and causing a potential attack. Despite its slightly temperamental personality, it is a truly delightful creature with many other incredible features. In addition to the above-mentioned characteristics, this lost thing has one other distinguishing feature, the presence of a smaller creature living inside its large metallic jaws. This is believed to be a younger lost thing, which is looked after by the coal scanth. Both distinct creatures are incredibly rare sights. In the past 10 years, only 3 have ever been reported. Therefore, should you find one, please do ensure that the authorities are contacted. Finally, what should you do if you find this lost thing? Firstly, under no circumstances should you attempt to domesticate this, as it will demolish your home, shredding all your soft furnishings for use as bedding. Instead, carefully coax this creature, using licorice or chocolate buttons, towards you. Avoid white chocolate, as this can cause it to become overexcited and difficult to control. Located on the front of the lost thing's head is a small metal ring. Once you have this creature happily following you, it should be possible to attach a rope to this ring and then lead it to the Federal Department of Odds and Ends, where it can be properly dealt with. Time to look back at the text and annotate with your notes. What are the main features you notice? What is the style? What job is it trying to do? In other words, what is the purpose of this text type? And also, what type of vocabulary do you notice being used here? Time to stop the video at this point so that you can do that job. Now you're back, what features did you pull out from the text? Did you notice the very formal style? There are no contractions or slang words used here. It's all very formal, long words to really explain and describe the creature and its processes in detail. The purpose of the text is to inform, instruct, and advise the reader. In other words, it is to explain, as it is an explanation text. Did you start to see the use of very technical, scientific-sounding vocabulary in this text? Words like external shell, high density, metallic, turbo-injected, diesel-powered. Lots of them were hyphenated words to describe the creature. Words like rotating, control panel, all very, very technical words to explain the process of the creature. This is a key feature of explanation texts. This leads us into our next job for today. What we'd like you to do is go back to the text using a highlighter, or if you don't have a copy of the text printed out, that's absolutely fine. You can just read back through it and make a list of the technical vocabulary that you notice. It'll be useful to keep a list of them because you can magpie them and use them for your own writing later. Probably want to stop the video again here at this point while you go back to the text and get the technical vocabulary. Okay, brilliant, we're back. Today we'll be writing about a lost thing, and we need to consider how we would explain it clearly. If someone found this lost thing, they would need to be absolutely sure that they had the right creature. Therefore, our explanation writing must be really clear, has to be precise, has to have descriptive language, and it must be very, very detailed. So, let's look at this lost thing here. What are the most obvious features to describe? What would you notice about it? Make some quick notes on your paper when you look at this lost thing. What immediately sticks out? Make a couple of notes on your paper. You might describe its legs, for instance. It's a four-legged creature. Looks like it's metallic with steel rivets holding it together, with one rather large protruding tentacle that houses several other smaller lost things, sitting on it like a perch. How could this lost thing be powered? Does it look like it's powered by electricity, or perhaps it's powered by hydraulics? Think about how it might communicate, and if it appears friendly, or do you think this lost thing would be vicious if you provoked it? Just start to practice noting down the features, anything that comes to mind on your paper. Now let's have a look at how this would be written into an explanation text. Here's an example from the book, What Miscellaneous Abnormality Is That, for this lost thing. Notice they always have a really interesting name, a number for a start. This one is lost thing number 2, the Tadpolus Mechanis Oil Buster. You can just completely make this up as long as it sounds scientific enough. Now paragraph 1 has to detail the name, appearance and materials that the lost thing is made of. So let's read this part through. This weird yet wonderful creature is easily identified by its huge size and whip-like tail. Although this creature looks menacing and dangerous, with its needle-like teeth and cold-staring eyes, it will never intentionally harm you because it actually has a very loving and caring nature. Consisting of a metal body with steel rivets, this cumbersome creature clanks and clatters as it clumsily waddles along, rather like a tortoise. I hope you're noticing here there's a good variety of sentence types. We're using dashes to add relative clauses, we're adding extra information using brackets. That's all a feature of this type of text, and I hope that you can put that in your own writing today as well. Paragraph 2 has a different subject area. This is covering the personality of the creature, how it behaves, its habits, and any caution the reader should take, so it's advice for the reader. Although frightening on first glance, this unique and elaborate beast is in fact as docile as a pet kitten. There is nothing more this loving being likes than to be fussed over and stroked. Hold out your hand gently and they will even take treats straight from your fingertips with the grace and elegance of a gentle lamb. All you must be aware of is not to make any sudden loud noises, or the tadpolus may rear up on all fours if it feels threatened. Now you have the idea of the style and content of this type of text, it's time to practice writing one of your own. This is the 3rd page in the book of the lost things, but the text is missing. Have a look at this creature. You're going to make some quick notes about the key features of its appearance. I've added a few on the flip here for you to get you started. Things like mentioning its bulbous eye, the metallic panels that are bolted together, the tentacles, and perhaps the tail is used for steering. But you're going to make yours completely unique to you. Whatever you'd like to describe this being as is your choice. You can also make up the name for it. You can stop the video again at this point to give yourself time to note down the things that you notice that you'd want to describe this creature. Remember the layout of the text. We're looking for 2 paragraphs here. The first paragraph giving the name of the creature, detailing the appearance, the materials that it's made out of, and the second paragraph really going into detail about how its personality is, how it behaves, what habits it has, any caution and advice for the reader that you might have. There's a model text on the flip chart and that you can see here that the teachers have written at school to describe this creature that you might want to magpie ideas from. You can go to the flip chart page on the Google Drive, or you can pause the video to read this in more detail, pick out the technical language. You can use this as a helpful starting point to help you write your own text today. Remember to use lots of technical vocabulary when you're describing your lost thing, and try to use a range of different sentence openers to keep your writing interesting. There's a selection of them here on this slide that might help to get you started. When you're ready, you're going to go to the writing sheet. Remember to give your lost thing a really interesting name. I've done an example here, lost thing number 326, the Cyclops aluminium bubble, but yours is going to be completely made up. Paragraph 1, give us the name, the appearance, the materials. Paragraph 2, give us more of the personality and any caution we have to take over this beast. There's sentence openers to help you. You can use both model text to go back and magpie the technical vocabulary and other sentence openers that you might want to steal from there to put into your own writing. So today, we're looking for 2 paragraphs to describe this lost thing here, this giant, bulbous, one-eyed, floating, levitating, strange, unique creature. Make it as interesting as you can, make it as scientific and technical as you can, and really explain, what should I do if I find this lost thing? How will I identify it? How will I know that it is lost thing number 326, for example? Good luck with your writing today, everybody. Well done. Can't wait to read them.